Everyone, it's Cass. Welcome back to my channel, What Cass Read. Today I'm catching up on the Booktube SFF Babbles. There is a Babble that I missed from last week, no, 2 weeks ago, because I wasn't filming that week, and I had to play catch up, so here we are. I want to bring to you some of my favorite science fiction and fantasy from other genres, not books. I was watching Sam's version of this video, of this take on the Babbles, Sam from Thoughts on Tomes. She decided to take it upon herself as like a personal challenge to not include any book-to-screen adaptations, and I was like, ooh, that's a good one, because we could go down the rabbit hole of Game of Thrones, we could go down the rabbit hole of The Lord of the Rings. Like, that just goes without saying that those would be included like as another form of media. But if we remove that, what am I left with? So I was able to find 5 things that I love, science fiction and fantasy, in other media. So the first one that I want to mention is Avatar: The Last Airbender. This was a cartoon from Nickelodeon. It aired for 3 seasons. It was one of the smartest stories that I've ever encountered. Like, the first season is a little bit childish, but as the seasons progress, it gets very dark, very grown up. Like, there's some grown up stuff that happens to these young characters. So Avatar: The Last Airbender follows these 4 nations. There's the Fire Nation, there's the Water Nation, there's the Earth Nation, and there's the Air Nation. They each have their own powers: firebending, earthbending, waterbending, airbending. And there's also one particular figure in the world called the Avatar who is able to control all 4 elements, and it is the Avatar's responsibility to ensure that there is peace among the 4 tribes. Well, the Fire Nation gets a little bit greedy and decides to attack the other 3 nations and wipes out all of the airbending temples, and they think that the Air Nation has collapsed, but there is a young Avatar named Aang who goes into hiding, who ends up going into hiding in like a hibernation state for, is it 100 years? Is it 1,000 years? I don't remember how long he was hiding. Eventually he wakes up and the adventures go from there. So it's a super smart written story. They do have The Legend of Korra, which takes place after Avatar, that I wasn't as into, but it's still a really smart written comic for those of you who like an Eastern influence, who like martial arts, and it's one of my favorite SFF in other media. Okay, more recently on Netflix, we have Stranger Things. I'm gonna put a picture up here. My husband and I dressed up as 11 and Dustin for Halloween. Dustin was my favorite, and my husband was 11, and I get so many nostalgic feels. Okay, I wasn't alive during the time of Stranger Things. Like, this took place in 83 and 84. I was born in 87. But just sort of like, you stay out till sundown with your friends on your bikes until it's time for dinner. Like, your mom just trusts you to run out with your friends for the whole day, and then you come back. Like, just some of those nostalgic vibes. Just how cute and nerdy the 4 main boys are. They're Magic the Gathering, the AV Club. It's such a smartly written series, and I can't wait to see what season 3 has to offer. I thought season 1 was better than season 2, but I still loved the storyline. My sister and I, if you notice in season 2, Dustin has a sweatshirt from the Science Museum of Minnesota. We are from Minnesota, and my sister and I both ordered that sweatshirt. I should have worn it for this video, but I didn't think about it. There's another television series that I love, and that is Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and then of course it moves on to Angel as the spin-off. I personally like Angel better than I like Buffy. Like, how he's tormented as this vampire with a soul, just the beautiful, like, morally gray person that he is. How can he reconcile with himself with the 200 years of terror of being like the most terrifying vampire of all time, and this reputation supersedes him and everybody knows that he's the most terrifying, but then he gets cursed with the soul, and what does he do with that? And I love it. It's my favorite. So I followed Buffy through season 3 with one of my friends from high school, and then as soon as Angel got his spin-off series, then I paid attention to that more than I paid attention to Buffy. When they got canceled, I was super sad about it. It was just an end of an era for me. I wanted to be like Buffy when I was a kid. I wish I had superpowers to defeat vampires. When I think about vampire series, like, that's the kind of vampire that I like the best. The final film series that I want to mention, I mentioned it a little bit earlier this week when I kind of geeked out about the different characters who were mentors in the series, but that's of course Star Wars. That's just a given. That's one of the things that I've followed since I was a kid. I've seen every single movie multiple times. I have some feelings on the most recent iterations of Star Wars that have been coming out, but the series as a whole is always going to be like super treasured for me. I love it. I can't get over it. It's funny, like I've been watching Star Wars since I was a little kid, and it's funny to encounter like brand new Star Wars fans. I kind of didn't think, like as a 31-year-old woman, I kind of didn't think there were that many like brand new Star Wars fans out there. But one of my best friends from college, like my best friend from college, who's the same age as me, is a very recent Star Wars fan. Like he became a Star Wars fan when episode 7 came out. And I was like, who are you right now? Like, how did we miss this part of college together? Because he's the one who introduced Avatar: The Last Airbender to me. So in a way, I feel like I kind of failed him, because maybe I assumed that he had already watched Star Wars. I don't know, but he's a very recent Star Wars fan. So it was really fun to be able to go to episode 8 with him. So Star Wars goes without saying. Okay, and then the final bit of science fiction and fantasy that I love, that's not film, that's not TV, movies, or anything, and it's not a book, it's a card game. So this is the Munchkin card game. I have Munchkin and Munchkin Foo. There are a ton of different decks, but it basically says kill the monsters, steal the treasure, stab your buddy. This is a card game that's like all of those like fantasy card games like Magic, but light. When I was in high school, my friends and I played this game every day. This is my senior year of high school. We're not like 14 years old. We were 18 years old, about to graduate high school. We played this game every day at lunch, and then like 4 of us were like teaching assistants during the same hour of the day. So I had like one of the cushiest senior years of all time, because during that hour of being a teaching assistant, we just got together and played Munchkin. Like we were so into this game. We would have parties. We still get together. Like if I'm ever back home, because I don't live near them anymore, but if I'm ever back home, we all get together and play Munchkin. Go down in the dungeon, kill everything you meet, backstab your friends and steal their stuff, grab the treasure and run. Admit it, you love it. Munchkin captures the dungeon experience with none of that stupid role-playing stuff. All you have to do is kill monsters and grab magic items. And what magic items? Don the horny helmet and the boots of butt-kicking, wield the staff of napalm, or maybe the chainsaw of bloody dismemberment. Start by slaughtering the potted plant and the drooling slime, and work your way up to the plutonium dragon. Fast, playing, and silly, Munchkin can reduce any gaming group to hysteria, and while they're laughing, you can steal their stuff. So it's like, basically, you all start at level 1. The goal is to become level 10. You have to kill monsters in order to level up, but your friends can screw you over, so that way you're not able to level up. If that doesn't tell you something about my teenagehood, I don't know what will. Play this with funny people, and this game will continue to make you laugh and will be funny with you. So they have so many different kinds of expansion packs. Like, I'm sure if you go into any gaming store, if you go to Barnes & Noble, they have a ton of these, and my favorite, obviously I had to get Munchkin Foo because I'm predictable that way. So that wraps up my catch-up of the Booktube SFF Babbles for my favorite science fiction and fantasy in other genres and in other forms of media. So please put some comments in the comment section below of some things that you really enjoy that are not books in science fiction and fantasy, so that way maybe if I haven't heard of it, if you think I really would enjoy something like that, please put it in the comment section below. I'd love to know. Unfortunately, I don't play a lot of video games, but my husband does, and I can always pass those recommendations along to him. Otherwise, if you want to follow me on social media, I'm on Twitter and Instagram. It's at WhatCastRead. It's the same as this channel, so it's super easy to find. You can give me your recommendations there. You can still follow me on Goodreads. That link will always be down below. And of course, you know how these videos end. I'll talk to you later.